So this is over case 4. Its scope is financial forecasting, and the case is called Growing Pains. It's basically about Jeff and his oatmeal company growing too fast and making sure that they are going to be able to secure the financing they need. So question 4 of case 4 reads, initially Matt assumes that the firm is operating at full capacity. How much additional financing will it need to support revenue growth rates ranging from 25% to 40% per year? So if you look at the Excel sheet here, we already have 25% plugged in for the growth rate. And that gives us an AFN of $103,009. And so what we'll do is we'll just plug that into the AFN over here. And so what's going to happen though is when we change this to 30% up here, you'll see the two things that change are sales for the next year, S1, and also change in sales, which is a result of subtracting S0 from S1. And so for 30% growth rate, those both go up, and we will actually need more financing needed in order to generate those sales. So this gives us additional funds needed of $150,006. So we'll move that to this to plug it into our chart. So we'll do the same for 35%. Once again, because we are growing more, it'll take more financing needed because this S1 and this change in sales will both change again. And now we have $197,003 of additional funds needed. So we will copy that, put it over here. And lastly, we'll do 40% growth, which is going to be the most we are looking to get. And once again, S1 and change in sales will change. We'll put this over here. So the reason this is happening is because in order to support a larger gain in sales by a larger growth rate, it's going to take more funds to actually acquire that. And that's just because it requires more assets to reach that number. So as you can see, from 25% growth, we will be at $103,000 of additional funds needed. And then if you go all the way up to 40%, we're going to need almost 2.5 times that at $244,000. So basically, additional funds needed can be defined as the amount of money a company must raise from external sources to finance the increases in assets required to support increased level of sales. Additional funds needed, AFN, is also called external financing needed, or EFN. Additional funds needed method of financial planning assumes that the company's financial ratios do not change. And so that's why you see only the change in sales and the next year's sales change, because these ratios are going to remain constant, and change in sales is going to be the one that actually translates to these other. In response to an increase in sales, the company must increase its assets, such as property, plant, and equipment, inventories, accounts receivables, etc. And that's why we're seeing that you'd think, 40% growth, well, we won't need as much because we're going to have more sales. But in order to reach those more sales, you're going to have more assets to get that high up. And then part of this increase is offset by spontaneous increase in liabilities such as accounts payable, taxes, etc., and part is offset by increased retained earnings. So if you look at the formula for this, what you see here is first you do your sales piece of it and your assets piece. This is going to be the increase. So this first group is the starting number, that is the increase in funds we're going to need. Then we take away from that the spontaneous liabilities that are going to go up as a result of the change in sales. So that'll lower the required financing just because we'll have more accounts payable and stuff like that that'll actually lower our financial need. And then once again, because we're making more money on sales, we'll retain more money as a result. And so we'll also subtract that from the beginning number. But at the same time, it still will increase in additional funds needed as you increase your growth rate.